Passion is to do things you love with energy, with enthusiasm, and with having the feeling, without having the feeling to be being forced. This is my definition of Mackenzie Cunningham: passionate and very enthusiastic. When I first met Mackenzie, I could tell right off the bat how hard she worked, from juggling grades, flag football, also a job, and being the president of her chapter in high school. I was amazed at how she still was so determined to do her best, not only for herself, but for others as well. While I haven't known Mackenzie for as long as everyone else up here with me, I do know one thing we can all agree on is her hard-headedness. And that you will never win an argument with her, even when it's over how I pronounce words. No matter how hard she may be, she never fails to lift me up when I need it. Kens, you are truly one of a kind, not only to me, but my family as well, and I'm honored to be a part of your journey this year. Through the ups and downs, I'm so proud of you and all your accomplishments. Looking forward to seeing you succeed in the next chapter.
When I first met Miss Mackenzie Cunningham, I was told by numerous people not to be friends with her because people didn't like her. This was due to her spitfire personality, skill to put up with no one's nonsense, and ability to state her opinion even when you wish she wouldn't. What I quickly came to realize was that while they were right about all of that, it made her an amazing friend, role model, and person. Kenzie quickly became one of my closest friends in the span of a few short months and was always there for me, whether it was to rant after I lost an FFA contest or owning the title of chauffeur after hundreds of dollars in gas money I didn't ever have to pay her back. It has been an honor to call her one of my best friends and an honor to watch her grow throughout her year of service as your Area 3 State Vice President. Thank you, Kins, for never hesitating to call me while I'm in the middle of class and complain about the latest person who cuts you off while driving. I love you so much and am so grateful to be able to call you one of my biggest inspirations.
Kenzie Lynn, or should I say, my Ken. The day we first met, I never imagined I'd be standing on the stage announcing you for your retiring address. Now, it's time to reveal a secret I've been holding on to for 2 whole years. Your Area 3 State Vice President, Mackenzie Cunningham, used to wear black socks with her official dress. Yeah, you heard that right, black socks. Now, she'll never live that down in my book. But luckily for her, I overlooked the fashion indiscretion and we quickly became best friends. No matter the circumstances, shack boots or not, we are always the loudest girls in the room. Ken, I miss sitting in your passenger seat, laughing until we cried every day in the school parking lot. You will remain my idol always. You have always taught me how to lead with confidence and love unconditionally. I will forever be your ride or die, even if I have to be your personal stylist forever. Every day since you've been gone, I've held your state degree placeholder in my pocket of my own blue jacket, so I can pretend that I have my best friend with me at all times. Florida FFA, thank you so much for taking such great care of my sock-wearing girl, but I'm ready to have...
One of my favorite memories of Mackenzie is when she was probably about 16, and she sat at the dinner table one night and confidently stated that you can't drive to Alaska. Being a state officer for the Florida FFA has given her a great opportunity to travel and learn that you can drive to Alaska, and it's been pretty great having my own bathroom while she's gone. She's had so many doors open for her these past few months, and it was an exciting experience, but we're all ready to have her home.
Florida FFA, it is an honor to introduce to you our best friend,
my older sister,
and my girlfriend.
And your 2023 to 2024 Area 3 State Vice President, Mackenzie Cunningham, as she delivers her retiring address entitled,
take a step forward.
I've been better, I've been worse. I've chased after pretty girls, seen a couple places that I never thought I'd see. I've walked into harder times, I've walked out the other side. It seems like you end up getting what you need. Yeah, looking down from 30,000 feet, life's been good to me. So another night, another show, 100 different cities, they all just seem the same. He asked me what it must be like singing songs under the lights. Well, it's got its moments, just the same as anything. I miss my town, I miss my wife, but I'm up here with you tonight. Said I've been better, I've been worse.
Tomorrow is going to be so long. I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to be at school by 6:45 to report to my safety patrol post. Then by 8 a.m., get to the media center to be the anchor for the school news. After school, I have to practice for Annie. It's okay though. Middle school will definitely be easier than this. This week is going to be so long. I have my FFA meeting on Tuesday. Oh, and we have our forms due for beta convention by Friday. Oh my gosh, I forgot to practice walking Hamlet. My first jackpot show is this weekend. Man, I can't wait to get to high school. It's gonna be so much more relaxing than this. All right. Tuesday, my FFA officer meeting, and then Wednesday, I have my FBA meeting at lunch. Oh, the FCA huddle is next Tuesday, which means my speech needs to be done by Friday. Oh, and Jesus Club, I need to remind to pack my lunch. Okay. Oh God, how could I forget? National Honor Society. If I miss another meeting, they're gonna kick me out. Okay, flag football tryouts next week. Now to add my Winn-Dixie shifts, a reminder to pack my work clothes, and my Daytona State classes for the week. I got this. It's all going to be worth it. Growing up, you could say I was always in over my head. I had way too many commitments, a freakishly busy schedule, and was always adding more to my plate. In elementary school, it was run club, drama club, play rehearsals, and book club. In middle school, it was the FFA and beta club. In high school, it was the Future Builders of America, Jesus Club, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the FFA, my part-time job at Winn-Dixie, library volunteer, varsity flag football, and National Honor Society. I was constantly running 1,000,000 miles a minute and consistently swamped with due dates. But why was I doing this to myself? Well, I was a firm believer that in order to be successful, I had to do it all. How else would my resume stand out from others? How could I call myself successful if I didn't do it all just like the other students around me? How could I be better than the rest? Well, with these questions in my head and my go-getter attitude, in my junior year, I decided that in order to be successful in running for state office, I needed to be a district officer. I had this image in my head of this ladder to the top, and I needed to start climbing. Well, around March of my junior year, I began to feel really anxious. Application season was over, contests completed, but this anxiety was for something else. My district officer interviews. The reason for my racing heart when I thought about the next time I would be putting on my official dress. Now, in my home district, we have to screen through in order to make candidacy for district office. And I was screening against 3 other talented individuals who had all been Federation officers prior to these interviews. Me, I hadn't been, and my mind was racing. What if I don't get it? Are they going to think less of me for not being a Federation officer? Why am I even running? I'm not as good as the rest of them. Those thoughts circled my head constantly until finally, March 24th, 2022 rolled around, the day of interviews. On this day, I found myself driving me and 2 of my friends to Pine Ridge High School with the music blasting, trying to get us in the right headspace for these interviews. However, those questions still ate at me. Once we arrived, we found the agriculture classroom, found a desk, and took a seat and waited for screening to begin. As one by one, people were called from the room, I began to fidget, twisting my rings, tapping my foot, my anxiety growing by the minute, until at last, they call my name and I can breathe normally again. I gather myself, roll my shoulders back, and take a deep breath before walking into the room. The screening room is just like those I've been in before. 3 judges and a space for me to walk. The questions start flying and I answer each to the best of my ability. I leave the interview knowing I was vulnerable and honest, but most importantly, I was myself. As I sat back in the room, I waited for interviews to conclude. Just waiting, until at last, the door opens and it's time for results. Now, before they announce our 2 candidates for district office, they've informed us that no one was cut and we would all make the Federation team. And then at last, your district officer candidates are... My name was not called. In this moment, it felt as though the weight of the world had come crashing down on me. My chest was tight and I could feel tears in my eyes as we left the building. As I drove home that night, my mind flashed to the images of FFA members in district jackets being called up on the stage as state officers. In that moment, all hope of achieving my goal was gone. I would no longer be able to become a state officer because I didn't have the title that so many had achieved. How often do we declare ourselves not good enough because we don't compare to someone else's achievements? I know in my case, it was too often. After that moment, I was forced to move on. Summer was approaching, which meant a new season of my life was about to begin. Senior year, a year full of bittersweet lasts, but also one of the most important years in my life. I was not gonna let this one small moment ruin the year that I was most excited about. Well, excited I was because before I knew it, the year had flown by and it was now May 19th, 2023. On this day, I found myself going through the motions at the DeLand FFA banquet. However, this was my senior year. My last time on this stage as a chapter officer, my last time wearing this jacket, the ending of a year that was full of lasts. Towards the end of the banquet, I found myself sitting at my officer table, cheering for others and receiving my pins and awards, when it dawned on me that it really was almost over. It was almost time for senior recognition and my senior speech. Before I knew it, my advisor, Mr. Bradner, was calling all seniors to the front. My heart was racing as I joined 6 of my friends in a line facing the audience. Now, we had no idea what to expect. Some years, it's a speech about us. But this year, we quickly learned it was a game. Bradner started off with a brief introduction about our chapter and some of the memories within it, before telling the 7 of us to go and find a row in between the aisles. We each moved and found our very own row before he began. Then it was time for the game. Take a step forward. The first question. Take a step forward for every industry exam you have passed since middle school. Six steps. Take a step forward if you have been on a state-winning CDE or LDE team or individual contest. Take a step forward if you will be graduating high school with a GPA that is a 3.2 or higher. Take a step forward if you are a proficiency winner or finalists. Take a step forward if you have served as a chapter officer. Then the last question. Well, I'll do you one better. Take a step forward if you are going to be a state officer. Being the only candidate for Area 3, I turned to look at him to be met with the reply, well, it's not official yet, but it is. Bradner went on to talk about our successes as a chapter, both in contests and CTE exams. But then he went on to say that young lady at the front of that line is the most successful student this program has seen since 1933. In this moment, I felt an immense sense of pride, both at Bradner's words, but also because I was at the front of the line. I was successful. I was ahead of those around me, so that meant I had made it. The long hours of hard work, the plate of responsibilities that overflowed for 4 years had finally paid off because I was at the front of the line. But does that mean that those behind me weren't successful? That even though my 6 friends weren't standing with me, that meant that they wouldn't succeed? No. You see, every single person in that lineup was successful. We each had different struggles. We all had different dreams. We were all graduating high school, each headed down a different path. While my path led me to state office, that doesn't mean that I was more successful than any of them. You see, there's no true measure to success. We all succeed in our own ways, yet we compare our accomplishments to others in order to declare ourselves worthy. However, this year, my mindset has shifted. This year, I've watched firsthand as students left the show ring without ribbons, yet left with the motivation to keep trying. I watched as friends didn't make officer teams, yet didn't let that break their spirits. I watched as teams that didn't place top 5 still celebrate because they made it to the state finals. This year, students like each and every one of you have shifted my perspective. Because while I once thought success lies in wins and losses, success truly lies in how we pick ourselves up and learn from the experiences when we don't get the outcome that we expected. When we grow through the struggle, that's when we've truly succeeded. While I may have stood at the front of that line during my senior banquet, what if we played that game again? What if instead of my 6 friends, I stood beside my 6 teammates? What if instead I stood beside each and every person in this room? What if the questions were different? My position in that line may change, however, my success does not. Too often we find ourselves comparing ourselves to others. We let not getting an officer position make us think we are unworthy of succeeding. We let not winning our contests label us as failures. However, your ability to succeed is not based on those around you. Your ability to succeed is only based on one factor: you. You determine your own success. However, success doesn't just manifest itself. It comes as the result of hard work. I think back to my packed calendar during school and all of the things I had to practice, train, and prepare for while still giving each 100% of my effort. Success is also the result of the hard days. I think back to my district officer interviews. While I left that day without the position I wanted, I left with a lesson about failure that pushed me to work toward my goals and propelled me toward future successes. A wise man once said, "You learn more in the valleys of life than you do on the mountaintops of success." Each valley of my life pushed me to better myself and inevitably led to me standing at the front of that line during my senior banquet. So FFA members, stop comparing yourselves to those around you and open your eyes, because success is based on your standards and not by the achievements of others. Florida FFA, just take the first step.
Go big or go. Go big or go home. 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 I gave the dice a roll and then we lost control.
Mackenzie, throughout this year, we've watched you grow, you've made us laugh, and us girls have spent countless hours trading reading recommendations for makeup recommendations. You are my fellow theater kid, Area 3's team mascot, one of National FFA's Speak Ag pioneers, the world's future lawyer, and not just our teammate, but our friend. We are truly blessed to be on the receiving end of your determination, humor, hard work, and encouragement. It is said that a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. While we started as 7, now we end as 1. Some may call this chapter our end, but let today mark where a lifetime of friendship begins. Love, Jenna, McKinley, Hunter, Spencer, Kaylee, and Emma. Florida FFA, your 2023-2024 Area 3 State Vice President, Ms. Mackenzie Cunningham.
Go big or go home. 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 I gave the dice a roll and then we lost control. You know we're lucky that we survived. 'Cause when we jumped the ship, oh man, that boat had flipped. But we should do